Hey everyone, so today I'm going to be doing my January favorites and also my everything I forgot in my 2015 favorites, because after I made that video I started like making notes in my phone of all the stuff I had forgotten that I really loved, and it was mainly a lot of like non-physical stuff that I really liked, so of course I didn't have anything to show for it and I kind of forgot about it. So I thought it would be good to include that in my January favorites since I don't have a whole lot of products to show. I thought it would be kind of good to throw them in with this video. So my first favorite of January I did include in my 2015 favorites, and it just barely made its way in, but I thought I definitely wanted to put it in this video as well because it definitely deserves it, and it is the Nivea aftershave balm, post-shave balm, as a primer. I talked about this in the last video, so I'm not going to talk about it too long, but basically Nikki Tutorials always talks about this, and I finally had tried it and I do absolutely love it for making my foundation last longer, and it just goes on smoother, and I just can't live without it, and it's really inexpensive. I think it's about $6 or so, and I have really thoroughly enjoyed it in January. So this product is a deluxe sample, and it is by the brand Fresh, and it is called the Soy Conditioning Eye Makeup Remover. I absolutely love it. It says it has soothing mallow extract, and it says it's supposed to remove waterproof makeup. So what I use this for, because it is such a small sample and honestly because I don't need any more, what I do is with my EpiL makeup wipes that I talk about in all my empties videos, I use that to remove the majority of my eye makeup first, and then I'll take another one and do all my face makeup. And then if necessary, I will usually use coconut oil. I'll kind of like put a little bit of it on my makeup wipe and use that to get rid of my mascara. Now I don't really use super heavy duty like waterproof mascara, but I definitely just have the problem where it's always hard to get all of the mascara off my eyes, and right now I'm currently using the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, which I've really been enjoying, and that's not a particularly like hardcore waterproof mascara by any means, but like I said, it's hard for me to get it like 100% completely off. So after I have removed most of my eye makeup, there's always a little bit of mascara remnants left behind. So what I do is I take just the tiniest pump possible. It's honestly like probably a third of a pea size, and I just kind of put that on my little washcloth or my makeup wipe after I have taken off the majority of my makeup, and I just kind of go over my lashes. This removes that like nothing else in the world, and I'm used to using coconut oil because oils are really great at removing makeup products. It really breaks it down, and I love coconut oil. It's inexpensive and you can get a whole bunch of it and it will last you forever, but I'm honestly considering buying the full size of this after I run out. Even though this is like a relatively small size sample, this I honestly think will last me quite a while since I only use the tiniest bit for each eye. Really, I think this will last me at least a month if I'm lucky, and I looked it up on Sephora's website to see how much it was, and I think it was about $26, which is a lot for me. I'm usually very frugal when it comes to like stuff like that. Like I don't like to spend a lot of money on the boring things like moisturizer or you know, stuff like that. Like I like to spend my money on fun lipsticks, things like that. And on Sephora I was looking up the reviews that some people have left, and it seems pretty split. Like some people absolutely love it, some people hate it. They say it makes their eyes burn. I have very sensitive eyes and I don't have that issue at all. So moving on to some things that I had forgotten to put in my 2015 favorites video, and for me, it's not a specific product. For this one, it is like a complete brand, and that is the brand Colourpop. I think I heard about them about this time, I feel like it was last year, about this time last year, and they were just, you know, starting out as a very like small kind of company, and this year has been like the year of Colourpop. They have come out with so many new amazing affordable products, and I can't get over how great they are. I have loved pretty much everything they have come out with. So some of my favorite things that I will talk about, I'll talk about them in the order that I bought them to the best of my knowledge. So the first two things I ever bought from Colourpop is their Colourpop Lippie sticks with the pencil. I only have one of the lip pencils and I'll swatch them because I love this color. I could not get over how amazing these products were for such an affordable price. The Lippie stick in the color Brills with the matching lip pencil, and the color is absolutely amazing. It's like this purpley pinky kind of lavender kind of color. It's so beautiful, and I can't get over it because it was, I believe, $5 or $6. And another thing I love is that they come out with these crazy, bold, you know, just unique colors. You know, they've got the really safe, wearable colors, but then they also have these really, really fun colors, which I love because sometimes I want to wear a really weird lip color or something like that, and sometimes it's hard to find affordable versions of those colors. The next few things that I bought, and I have quite a few other ones as well, but these were two of my favorites that I bought, and they are two of the Super Shock shadows. The two that I have, this one is called Nillionaire, and then this other one is called Sequin. These are absolutely amazing. I have these swatched as well. They are so, you can see how much they like reflect and shine. They have matte ones, they have pearl finishes, they have satins, they have shimmers, they have like foils and metallic. It's absolutely amazing, and the texture of these eyeshadows are so unique. They're so thin and like cushiony, and they're like a cream but not really a cream. They're it's really like hard to explain if you've never tried these, but they are absolutely amazing. Again, they're super affordable. I think like $5 or $6 a piece, and I cannot get enough of these. So now I'm gonna get into some of the random favorites that I forgot about in 2015, and these are all things that I don't really have like something to show. So the first one is Melanie Martinez. I have been living under a rock until I recently discovered her. I think it was like the last week of December, early January, that I like first listened to her music. I had no clue who she was, although I did vaguely remember seeing her like promoting Lime Crime stuff like last summer, I believe it was, and I think she had like a lip color with them called Crybaby or something, but I completely went over my head and I didn't even realize who she was. And then whenever I found her music, I'm like, wait, she reminds me of someone, and I remembered it was she had worked with Lime Crime. Her music is such, it speaks to me. It's like that creepy, pretty, but kind of like slightly demented, well, kind of really demented and weird, but it's amazing. So TV shows and movies that I loved. So this first one actually came out in, I think, 2014. And again, I am like the epitome of someone who lives under a rock. Like whenever people are talking about an awesome show or, you know, oh, you gotta go see this movie. Like right now, Making a Murderer is really huge, and I just don't have any interest in watching it right now. Usually I'm always like, 2 years later, I'm like, oh yeah, what was that show that everyone was into? And then I'll go watch it. That's just kind of how I am. I like to binge watch things, so I like to wait until it's like all done. So the first one that has been out forever, this is a movie, and it was called Grand Budapest Hotel. I loved that movie. It was the first Wes Anderson movie I've ever seen. You know, like I said, I'm not really up to date with anything when it comes to stuff like that. Like I know that people like stuff, but I just don't watch it myself. But I love the movie Grand Budapest Hotel. I love the overall look. It's such a pretty, like aesthetically pleasing look movie, and I loved that. I watched it I think like 3 nights in a row when I first watched it. So yeah, that one I think came out in 2014, and then I finally watched it in 2015, and then I forgot to talk about it in that video, so I'm talking about it now in 2016. So another TV show that has been out forever, and honestly I don't know how I didn't know about this movie or this TV show, because it's something that is so up my alley, and I haven't finished the next season yet, so please don't spoil it for me, but it is Once Upon a Time. Love that show. I had watched the first season I think in July or June, I can't remember, but I watched the first season then and I really liked it, and then by the time I got to the end of the first season I was like mentally exhausted of the storyline, so I watched like the first 2 episodes of the second season and I just really didn't feel like watching it. And then in about, I think it was about October, you know, my mom and I were flipping through Netflix, and she like wanted to watch something, and I was like, oh, you might like this show. It's called Once Upon a Time. It's a little cheesy in the beginning, but then it gets really good, and it's like fairy tale themed and stuff like that. So she was like, okay, I'll watch it. You know, she wasn't really like into it or whatever. And so I rewatched the first season with her, and she just got hooked. She hooked. She loved it. And So we ended up watching all of the episodes that were on Netflix, which is all the way up till season 4, I believe. And then I think that season 5, like the first half of season 5 just finished like early December. So I need to watch the first half, and then I believe the second half comes back in, I think, March. So I need to catch up on like the 12 or 11 episodes that I haven't seen yet. So please, no spoilers. Alright, and this next one is another TV show, and when I say I have been living under a rock, I mean I have been living under a rock for like the literal last 15 years. And I remember watching this show when it first came out. I was a little kid, I was like a child, and I don't remember like anything about the show, but I remember the act of watching a couple episodes and stuff, and that is of course Survivor. I literally lived under a rock for the last 15 years of my life, and I started watching Survivor, it was last summer's episode, or it was last summer's season. I think it started like in August maybe. It was San Juan del Sur. It was that season that I started watching it. So I watched that show because there was a podcast that I listened to, and they were doing a recap show of that, and I didn't listen to either of the shows they were talking about, and so I decided to go listen to one of the shows, or go back and watch one of the shows, because it was like one of those train wreck shows. It was called Utopia, if anyone is familiar with that show. It was an absolute train wreck of a show, and I'm not even gonna talk about that one because that show was trash. It was so bad. So they, you know, they did a recap show of these two shows. So they did Survivor and Utopia, and then Utopia got canceled, so then they just started doing Survivor. And it was really weird because I would watch, it was like a video podcast, so I'd watch their podcast and listen to them talk about the show and recap it. And I just liked their personalities. Like, I didn't really watch the show, so I had no clue what they were talking about. And then I'm like, maybe I should like actually watch the shows that they're talking about. So I watched Utopia, gets canceled, and then I start watching Survivor, and I was hooked. And then, I'm not gonna lie, I binged watched, this is like actually really embarrassing to admit, but I binged watched 30 seasons of Survivor, and I watched it in the span of, I think it was like 7 or 8 months. I had watched 30 seasons of Survivor, not 30 episodes, 30 goddamn seasons. So I don't even. So I'm completely caught up with Survivor. I am now like a Survivor super fan. I absolutely love Survivor, and it just hit me 15 years too late. So last season just finished at the beginning of December. I absolutely really enjoyed that season. It was Cambodia Second Chance, and that one was really good. So I can't wait for Survivor to come back. I think it comes back like mid-February, so I can't wait for that to come back. But I honestly, guys, 30 seasons in like 8 months, I am like the definition of psychotic. And another show that I started watching, it actually came out in 2015, so I'm actually like surprised that I'm watching it, but it is Monopoly Millionaire's Club. That's what's called. And I started watching that, I think it was like maybe like November, late November, I started watching that, and I love it. Basically, if you haven't seen it, it's a game show based on like the game Monopoly. You know, they have mini games, they play for like $100,000, and then, you know, it's really fun. And so I absolutely love board games, and I love Monopoly. My absolute favorite board game of all time is Clue. So I have like 6 versions of the board game Clue. If they made a Clue themed game show like they have Monopoly Millionaires Club, I would have a heart attack. I would die, and I'm so sad because like they don't offer the lottery for that in my state anymore, and I missed out, and I'm so pissed off because I never got to like play the lottery cards while they were doing it. So I really kind of like missed my chance on that one. So the next category that I really got into this year was podcasts, or last year rather. So the first podcast that I really got into was Coffee with Chrachel. If you guys are familiar with Rachel Whitehurst here on YouTube, she used to be, I used to watch her a long time ago when she was still, I think it was, I Call It Ambrosia was her screen name, and now she just goes by her name, and I used to really love her back in the day. But then like whenever she announced that she was doing a podcast back in like late summer, I kind of like fell back into like in love with her. She's just such a cool person, and I love her podcast. She does it with her boyfriend Chris, so they make up Coffee with Chrachel, which is Chris and Rachel, and they just talk about their lives and stuff, and it's really fun, and I just really have been enjoying their podcast. Like, it's rare that I like learn the schedule of people who like upload stuff. Like, if it's someone who does videos and they're like, oh, I upload every Tuesday, Thursday, it's like I never seem to really I guess like memorize that or anything. I'm just like, oh, they uploaded today. But like with this, I'm like, okay, every like Sunday they're gonna upload a new podcast, and like every like Tuesday they're gonna have another podcast, or you know, and like whenever they don't upload, I'm like, oh, where is it? And that was another case. I started like really listening to them. I listened to the first like 3 episodes when they were letting them out, like podcasts, and then I kind of like fell off and I got busy with school, and then I went back and binged listened to all their podcasts. I think they're up to like the 40s or 50s now with their episodes. Absolutely love it. And then the second podcast that I got really into, mainly also someone that I have followed honestly since I was like an infant, like on YouTube, and that's Shane Dawson, his podcast Shane and Friends. He started that forever ago, and I never listened to it. And once I kind of like caught up with Coffee with Chrachel, I was like needing a podcast in my life, so I started listening to Shane and Friends, and I started listening to it backwards, so I'm actually like going to like later in time with their with his podcast, but I'm still enjoying it. I think I have about 20 episodes left, but I really love it because he always has on interesting people as guests and stuff, and he kind of interviews them, and I just like, I don't really watch Shane Dawson that much anymore. I used to watch his sketch comedy like in 2007, 2008, when I was like 7th grade, but it's just kind of really cool to listen to their podcast. So those were 2 really huge podcasts that I feel like avoid in my life when I don't have a podcast to listen to. And then the next favorite actually comes from, it kind of came from like Coffee with Chrachel's, where I heard about it, and Chris was talking about Bing rewards, and I absolutely love it. Like, okay, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a huge fan of Bing. I Google through and through, but with Bing, you can actually get points, and you can redeem those points for gift cards or like Xbox Live subscription, I think, or, you know, a lot of other things. I think maybe even like, I think there's a couple of fast food gift cards like Burger King, or so basically you can earn points through like searching through Bing and, you know, stuff like that. You get points and you can redeem them for gift cards. And I'm not gonna lie, it's definitely not one of those like get rich quick kind of like apps or anything like that, point system. But I've only been doing it, I think I've only been doing it for a little over a month now, and I've already been able to get 2 gift cards already. They are like low value gift cards. I think the both of them that I got were for Sephora, because hello, it's Sephora, and you can I think it's about 500 points or something. You get like a $5 Sephora gift card, and it literally takes like no time to do. You just have to do it every single day to get enough points, and I think about every like 2.5 weeks I can get another gift card. So I'm just so glad I heard about that from them, because like I said, Bing, I'm not a huge fan of. I never would have really found that without them, so definitely check it out. I'll have a link if you want to sign up, and through my affiliate link. It's not really an affiliate link, but it's like linked to my account, so I don't really know. Maybe I get points, maybe I don't. I honestly don't know. So that is it for everything that I have forgotten about and all my favorites from January. So if you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram, link is below. And until my next video, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.